Hey guys, me Matthew again, and today I'm going to be doing another audio series. Anyways, if you're new here, please like, subscribe to the bell down below. If you're not subscribed, please like, subscribe to the bell down below. As well as go for my community posts. You do not know where you may find. But anyways, this story is pretty much similar to Hunger Games and several other types, but slightly different. It's a bit more similar to Minecraft story mode where they encounter the games at the end of season 2, but it's a bit more realistic than Minecraft to the best of my capability, and is in a future setting. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the story. Chapter 20, The Elysian, Zara's Perspective. After bleeding to death inside the dragon's mouth, I woke up feeling thawed inside of a cryopod. Zara. I haven't felt like that since before I got my enhancement that saved my life until just then. The cryopod opened up to reveal the military medic ready to assist. His custom medical military outfit apparent. The medic nods professionally, helping me out of the cryopod with a gentle but firm grip. Military medic. Welcome back, soldier. You were in there for quite some time. How are you feeling? He asks, his voice calm and steady. Zara. Like I've bled to death and came back healthy while still having my Polycinamavera blood, sir. I said a little fatigued as I reached out for his hand. The medic helps me stabilize myself, allowing me to lean on him briefly before guiding me to sit on the edge of the cryopod. He checks my vitals quickly and efficiently. Military medic. Your numbers look good, considering you just came back from the dead. Your enhancement is working perfectly. Zara. At least Beastconic warned me about what he suspected could and is apparently true. I had confirmed his suspicions about Beastconic's suspicions about the voice of the people. The medic nods, handing me a small tablet with my medical records displayed on it. Military medic. Indeed, Beastconic's suspicions about the voice of the people creating clones of the players before S.X.S's survival games who act in your stead while you and the others are safely in cryopods out of the government's access seem to be correct. He pauses, his expression turning serious. Zara. So you did receive his message through live TV. I said as fact then a question. I could see the live views of each clan. Seeing my clanmates mount the dragon that had swallowed my clone's body before the dragon flew off into the sky with him on its back contently. The medic nods, his expression grave. Military medic. Yes, we received it loud and clear through the live broadcast. Beastconic's message was broadcasted to every screen in existence, ensuring that everyone, including our military personnel and higher up, saw it. He pauses briefly before continuing. He helped me over to a seat to sit down on while I kept my eyes on the screen that showed my clanmates on their way to the Redwoods via the dragon's back, the 25 tamed griffins following behind them. The medic follows my gaze, watching the screen with me. Military medic, your clan seems to be doing well. They're making good use of that dragon. He comments softly, then turns back to me. Military medic, you should rest for a bit longer before finding your place in the voice of the people. Zara, are my clanmates real bodies in this room, sir? I asked with a side eye while keeping the screen in my view. The medic understands my concern immediately. Military medic. Yes, they are all here safe and sound. Their bodies never left this facility during the game. He reassures me gently. I nodded before continuing as I soon saw my clanmates land in the redwoods, to the fire beacon, to the howling of Fenrir, to the strongest of my clanmates trying to overpower Fenrir, to Fenrir jumping over them before sinking its teeth in Galora's shoulder as she punches it in the face despite her pain, and finally Fenrir throwing her into a tree with extreme force that turned her clone into a splattering stain on the redwood tree. Following Galora's clone's death, her cryopod began to hiss as it began to thaw her real body out. As I turned to see, despite wanting to stand and hug her when I was able, instead I listened to the medic and stayed seated while Galora was thawing out. The medic watches me with a mix of concern and admiration as I remain seated despite my clear urge to comfort Galora. He understands the importance of following protocol in situations like these. As Galora's cryopod finishes thawing, the lid opens with a hiss of escaping cold air. Military medic. She's awake. Galora. Well, that hurt for a second. She stood up without issues, her natural strength being quite the asset to her. The mag nods approvingly at Galora's swift recovery and composure. Military medic, your clones are quite the hit out there, he comments, glancing at the screen showing the redwood forest scene where Galora's clone had been brutalized by Fenrir. He then turns his attention back to us both. Galora hugged me as I hugged her back. Galora, at least our crazy leader Beast Koenig was right to suspect our bodies were clones after each of us woke up in free fall in survival games, and both him and his lover Beast Koenig both had saw you and who appointed him freaking out before putting their bodies back to sleep and reconnecting their minds to their clone bodies, she said as she took a seat. Zara, same. I would have suspected something as well if I had experienced that or something similar as well. The medic chuckled softly, appreciating the humor and camaraderie between Galora and I. Military medic. Well, that was quite a revelation for everyone involved. It's not every day you realize your body is just a clone. He pauses briefly before continuing. Galora and I watched while being debriefed by the medic as he did his job in taking Galora after pre-thaw. 4 hours later, present. Beastconic's perspective. We're all in our clan room waiting for the next game to be announced. I'm very curious what game we'll be dealing with next. Beastconigan, my love. Beastconigan sits beside me, her hand resting comfortably on my thigh as she leans in close to whisper. Beastconigan, whatever it is, we'll face it together like always. She kisses my cheek gently. It was finally time for the game announcement as the announcer appeared on the screen. Announcer. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today's game is going to be a scary one. It's the Elysian Run, he said enthusiastically. Oh, shit. Announcer. For those of you who don't know what the Elysian Run is, it's a game where each clan can go into their own game simultaneously in a spooky makeshift laboratory meant to tell a story about the Elysian escape. Moving on from that, each clan will have a week to get out and survive the Elysian. As for the Elysian, it can create an illusion to hide in plain sight where light refracts off of its generated illusion. It can also control everything inside the laboratory: the cameras, heat sensors, lights, electronic doors, and ventilation in the specimen area. As for the Elysian's appearance, it's a scientifically engineered humanoid Eurasian lynx with a light refraction enhancement and has a form of Bluetooth that is designed to connect only to its designated laboratory. There are a few ways to see the Elysian. One, if it wants you 2 seconds before it kills you. 2, the security camera feed. And 3, special contact lenses or glasses. These pieces of technology will allow players to see past the illusion of the Elysian. And if this creature sounds like it's based on an internet myth, it's because it is. It's based on SCP-1471, but instead of it being a black wolf, it's an Eurasian lynx without its skull showing. Now, there are 6 safe zones, each one to be spent asleep in for 1 night each, while the 7th you'll kill for the exit and survive the game. Now that all that has been explained, the game will start a week from now at sunset. Until next time, the TV turns off. Oh gosh, they really like to screw with us all, huh? Everyone in my clan looks nervous, but also excited. This game sounds unlike anything they faced before. Beastconigan, an illusion-based killer that controls the entire environment. That's some next-level horror game design right there. Beastconigan remarks, trying to sound casual despite the obvious danger. I held my head in my hands as I saw in the corner of my eye Chris hiding behind Crystal. I knew he'd likely speed ahead of everyone out of fear straight to the safe zone per day, which would get him killed. Chris, I'll inform you now, if you run for the safe zone per day, you'll not only be putting us at risk, but yourself as well, for going out on your own and end up getting picked off by the Elysian. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to get you to understand the position you'd be placing us if you do. Do you understand? I asked clearly and firmly with a tender but serious expression. Chris nods quickly, shrinking behind Crystal. Chris, I understand. He mutters. He knows that if he gets separated from the group, he'll likely be the first to die. The thought makes him tremble. Crystal wraps an arm around him protectively. Good. Now, since we'll be dealing with the Elysian run, we must stay together, but if we have to split up to get inside any of the safe zones, we'll be in groups of 5 and 8 since we lost Zara and Galora in the Abominations arena hours prior to now. Do I make myself clear? I looked at Freya, Dean, Chris, Franklin, Maxine, Jake, Carol, Titus, Shauna, Ren, Henny, Shina, Robin, Xavier, Cleo, Phil, Don, Carden, Jim, Gerald, and Crystal. Everyone nods in understanding. The seriousness of the situation sinking in. They know that staying together is their best chance of survival against this illusion-based killer. Freya. Got it, Freya says firmly. Freya, we stick together as much as possible. The others murmur their agreement. Good. Now we just need to wait while the other clans get healed from taming those mythical creatures from the Abominations arena. A week later, it was time to head to the game. We were all being escorted to the Elysian run. Well, here we go, y'all. The guards lead our clan to the entrance of the spooky laboratory. The lights flicker ominously. Guard, remember, one of the guards says seriously. Guard, stick together. Don't trust what you see, and good luck. He hits a button, and the heavy door slides open with a loud clunk. I press my index finger to my lips to tell everyone to be as quiet as possible before walking forward, watching my step. Everyone falls silent, following my lead. They know that any noise could attract the attention of the Elysian. The laboratory is dark and eerie, with strange machinery and flickering lights. As we walk deeper inside, we hear a soft hissing sound coming from the ventilation system. It didn't sound like it was coming from an animal, and regarded it as a loose air hose. We saw a broken tube that clearly had the Elysian inside it, or at least that's what it was meant to look like. We continued walking forward, being careful not to step on any glass or debris. We're all moving stealthily, our hands spread out slightly but still within view of each other. We passed by rooms filled with empty glass tubes and strange mechanical equipment. The hissing sound grows louder for a moment, then fades away again. Suddenly, one of the clan members freezes. I looked over to see Chris freezing with fear etched all over his face. I gestured for someone to check on Chris and make sure he doesn't do something stupid. Freya quickly moves over to Chris, placing a hand on his shoulder to steady him. She leans in and whispers, Freya, Chris, what's wrong? Did you hear something? Chris shakes his head frantically, his eyes wide with terror as he points straight ahead. Chris. There, on the floor. We quietly looked over where Chris was pointing and saw the sleeping Elysian safely behind bulletproof glass. I gestured for everyone to stay extra silent and to press on to find the safe zone. The clan continues moving forward cautiously, relieved that the Elysian is contained but still on high alert. The laboratory corridors stretch endlessly ahead, illuminated only by sporadic emergency lights casting long shadows. Suddenly, a loud clang echoes through the hallway. A metal tray falling over somewhere nearby. Everyone freezes again. I gestured for 5 of them who checked to see if the Elysian was still behind the glass while we waited. Freya, Dean, Maxine, Jake, and Titus quietly moved forward to check on the Elysian. They approached the glass container slowly, their hearts pounding in their chests. As they get closer, they see that the creature is gone from behind the bulletproof glass. They quietly and quickly came back, shaking their heads to confirm that it was gone. Gave everyone a worried look before gesturing for everyone to stay vigilant while we move on. The clan presses onward, even more cautious now that they know the Elysian is loose somewhere in the lab. They pass more empty containment units, some shattered and some still intact. The hissing sound returns occasionally, always seeming to come from right ahead of them, but disappearing when they investigate. We came to find a cafeteria to hear and see a metal lunch tray moving as if it's being sniffed by something invisible as the sound of silverware clinks against the tray. I gestured for everyone to carefully and quietly huddle against the wall. Everyone presses against the wall, barely breathing as they watch the lunch tray move on its own. It slides slowly across the floor, then suddenly stops for a long moment. Nothing happens. Then the clicking of silverware starts again, moving away from them down the cafeteria aisle. Grabbed a bruised apple before throwing it into the kitchen and with all my strength that my Strength 5 boost upgrade would allow me to. The apple flies through the air and lands with a loud thud in the kitchen. The clinging of silverware stops abruptly, and there's a moment of silence. Suddenly, a low growl echoes from within the kitchen, sending shivers down everyone's spines. I gestured for everyone to move quickly and quietly while watching their steps across the cafeteria to the next hallway. The clan moves swiftly and silently, their hearts racing as they hurry across the cafeteria and down the next hallway. The growling sound fades behind them as they put a distance between themselves and whatever was in the kitchen. Suddenly, Freya gasps and points ahead. Legion showed itself as it heads back to its sleeping spot away from us as I gestured for everyone to stay still. The Legion moves slowly, its movements fluid and almost graceful despite its monstrous appearance. It disappears behind the corner it had entered the cafeteria from. The clan members exchanged relieved glances, but no one dares move yet. I gestured for everyone to press on, watching my step as I went. The clan moves forward cautiously, following my lead as they walk. They can't help but notice the eerie silence that has settled over for the laboratory. The only sound is the quiet hum of the ventilation system and the occasional drip of water from a broken pipe. When we turned the corner, we saw a sign that said Safe Zone pointed down the next corner. Everyone's spirits lift slightly at the sight of the sign. They quicken their pace slightly, hoping that the safe zone means an end to this terrifying ordeal. As they round the next corner, they see a reinforced door with a keypad lock. Dawn. Is that the safe zone? I gestured for everyone to remain silent as I put in provided code into the keypad before the door loudly opened up, making my eyes widen as I quickly get in without worrying about making any noise after how loud the door was. First slides open with a deafening clunk that echoes through the laboratory. I dash inside, my heart pounding like drums. The others follow quickly behind, their eyes wide with fear. Jake. Damn, Jake mutters softly. Jake. That door was loud enough to wake the dead. I closed the door in a rushed panic. Right as I walked it, the illusion was clawing at the bulletproof glass before I leaned down against the door, sliding down to the floor. Phew, that was close, but it knows we're here now, thanks to that stupid push of a door being so loud. The illusion's claws scrape against the glass, leaving deep gouges in their wake. The creature lets out a low, menacing growl that vibrates through the reinforced door. Everyone in the room exchanges nervous glances, their breaths coming in short gasps. One safe zone down, 5 more to go. I looked up to the countdown time on the door in front of me 15 feet away, showing me that it'll open at 7 p.m. sharp. Everyone takes deep breaths, trying to calm their racing hearts as they watch the countdown timer above the next safe door. The scraping and growling from the illusion slowly fades away after a few tense minutes. Chris ventures closer to me. Chris, 5 more of these? 7 days, 6 safe zones, and 1 exit that wins us the game. I gave him a hug for his sake. Chris hugs me back tightly, finding comfort in my warmth. The others start to relax a bit, some sitting down on the floor while others lean against the wall. Suddenly, Jake speaks up. Jake, guys, can I ask something without getting weird looks? Everyone turns to him curiously. I noticed it was female too, Jake. Why? You don't want to give it adult attention, do you? I giggled teasingly as I let Chris go from the hug. Jake's face turns bright red at my teasing comment. He stutters. Jake, no, that's not what I meant. I was just gonna ask if anyone noticed it's gender too. Maxine snickers softly. Maxine. We all noticed, Jake. You're not alone in your observations. Freya adds. Freya. It's definitely female. We all but Chris began to crack up laughing at the unspoken humor in the air, despite the illusion being our threat tomorrow at the next sunset. Jake blushes even harder, but joins in the laughter, the tension in the room easing slightly. After a few minutes of shared amusement, everyone starts to settle down again. I notice Chris hasn't joined in the laughter. Instead, he seems lost in thought. I grabbed Beast Connigan's hand and went to the shower, stopping at the bathroom door. There's plenty of food and beds, so make yourselves comfortable while Beast Connigan and I take a shower together. They all whistled and cackled as we closed the door and locked it behind us. The others laugh and joke around, their voices muffled through the closed door. Inside the bathroom, Beast Connigan and I share a soft smile. A sound of running water fills the room as we both start to undress and step into the shower together. Can't believe how loud that door was, my love, I said as I hugged her. Miss Connigan wrapped her arms around me, resting her head on my shoulder. Miss Connigan, yeah, it was like a freaking alarm system. She laughed softly. The warm water cascades over both of us, washing away the tension and dirt from the day. That's probably the point in case if a clan manages to sneak past the Elysian without it knowing we're here, so that it does know we're in here with it. Miss Connigan pulls back slightly to look at me, her eyes serious despite the playful moment. Miss Connigan, you're right, she murmurs. Miss Connigan, it's a security feature. If anyone got past the Elysian, that door would alert it to our presence. She kisses me gently, while also making it so the next following night ain't as easy without losing a few clanmates. I love bite her neck needily, drawing blood thanks to my titanium saber teeth as I pressed her lips to the same spot on my neck. Miss Connigan moaned softly into the bite, her own teeth sinking into my neck in response. The shower fills with the sounds of quiet kissing and gentle biting as we both mark each other's necks, leaving behind matching love bites. We licked each other's wounds before French kissing each other. The keys deepen, tongues tangle together as we both lose ourselves in the moment. The warm water continues to pour over us, but all I focus on is the feeling of my partner's lips against my own. After a long moment, we finally break apart, both of us breathing heavily. We began putting on body wash on each other, rubbing in shampoo in each other's hair. We both take turns washing each other's hair and body. The gentle movement, soothing and intimate. Miss Connigan leans back against me as I massage shampoo into her hair, giving me easy access while running her hands over my chest absent-mindedly. She hummed softly, almost contentedly. After we were done in our shower, we came out dressed as we saw our clanmates eating dinner as Crystal hands us our plates of blood-friendly food. Thank you, Crystal. I smiled warmly as I noticed Beast Connigan's necks and Beast Connigan's blood on my titanium saber teeth. Crystal's eyebrows rise slightly, but she simply smiles back and hands Beast Connigan her plate. Crystal, love bites? She asked quietly enough that only we two can hear. Beast Connigan just grins and touches her neck proudly. Beast Connigan, my king marked me. I smirked shamelessly as I went over to a bed to sit and eat on. Crystal chuckles softly and shakes her head. Crystal, you two are adorable, she says, turning to help the others with their plates. The rest of the clan continues use their conversation, some casting playful glances our way, but mostly mindful of their own meals. After dinner, everyone took their own showers individually, but brushed our teeth together before getting to bed in bunk beds of 3, 8 bunks in total. As we all climb into the bunk beds, Miss Connigan pulls me into the middle bunk with her, leaving the top and bottom empty. She curls up against me immediately, her arm wrapping around my waist possessively. The room grows quiet as everyone settles in for the night. Miss Connigan, good night. Same to you, mistress. I said it without thinking. Miss Connigan's arm tightens around me possessively at the term mistress. She presses a quick kiss to my neck where she bit me earlier. The room is silent except for the soft sounds of breathing and occasional shifts in the beds. Miss Connigan, my king, she whispers back. I closed my eyes as I snuggled against her happily. The next morning was spent eating, chatting, working out, playing board games we found in a cabinet, and now it was 5 minutes until we had to get to the next safe zone. The clan is bustling with activity as everyone prepares to leave for the next safe zone. Miss Connigan is helping pack the last of the supplies when she suddenly grabs my arm and pulls me into a nearby empty room. Miss Connigan, 5 minutes alone with my king, she says firmly, closing the door behind me. Yes, mistress, I said softly with half-lidded red eyes as I spread my legs for her, locking the door behind me. Miss Connigan doesn't waste any time. She crosses the room and presses herself between my spread legs, her hands immediately going to my waist. She looks up at me with intense purple eyes. Miss Connigan, I just need a quick taste before we go. I sat down on the floor for her. She smiles mischievously and drops to her knees between my legs, her hands immediately pulling down my pants. She leans forward and presses a soft kiss to my inner thigh before opening her mouth and taking me in completely. She begins to suck eagerly but silently, her hands gripping my thighs tightly. I put my hands behind my head like a good pet for her. Miss Connigan loves seeing me like this. So submissive and obedient, she continues to suck me off eagerly. Her tongue swirls around my length as she takes me deep into her throat. She looks up at me through her lashes, watching as I keep my hands behind my head. I look at her with eyes full of love, devotion, and submission. The look in my eyes makes Miss Connigan's heart race. She loves seeing me so open and loving towards her, especially in such a submissive position. She doubles her efforts, sucking harder and faster as she looks up at me with pure adoration in her purple eyes. I was getting close very quickly. Failing me getting close, Miss Connigan increases her pace, knowing exactly what I need. She takes me deeper, hitting that perfect spot with her tongue as she looks up at me with a satisfied smirk. Miss Connigan, come from me, my king, she whispers silently before taking me even deeper. I come deep down her throat as my hands turn into fists. She swallows every drop, her eyes never leaving mine. She loves seeing me lose control like this, knowing that she's the one making me feel this way. She pulls back slowly, licking her lips clean before standing up and pulling my hands back up gently. Miss Connigan, Better? Yes, mistress. Let's kick some ass, I said softly. We both stood up, dusting ourselves off before rejoining the others. The clock was at 1 minute and 45 seconds. Bisconigan nods, her expression turning serious and focused. She grabs my hand and leads me back to the group, her purple eyes scanning the area as they prepare for the final push to the safe zone. The timer is counting down rapidly now. 1 minute left. Bisconigan, stick close. I should be telling you that. We laughed warmly. Crystal grins at our playful banter. Crystal, damn right, you two are our power couple tonight, she jokes softly. The others laugh softly too. Clanmate, 30 seconds. One member calls out softly, watching the timer. Once the timer hits 0, the door opens quietly than the door behind us did last night. I gestured for everyone to keep quiet, stay vigilant, to watch their steps, and report any movement quietly that looks like the illusion is invisible somewhere. The clan moves silently into the hallway, their eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of the illusion. Bisconigan stays close to me, her hand resting in mine as she listens carefully for any unusual sounds. After a few tense minutes, one of the clan members whispers, "Clanmate. Movement, 10 o'clock. We looked over to see a ball of yarn moving on its own, even floating from here and there. I gestured for everyone to huddle together, figuring that it won't attack us as a group, my titanium claws retracting out. The clan huddles together, watching the ball of yarn float around, seemingly at random. After a moment, it begins to move toward us, hovering in front of us for a few seconds before floating back to its previous location. Crystal, it's not attacking, Crystal whispers softly. Crystal, it's just as I thought. It won't attack us as long as we're in a group, so let's press on, but watch your backs if you're in the back, I whispered softly as I began falling into careful steps. The clan follows my lead, moving cautiously forward while keeping an eye on the strange yarn ball. As we move deeper into the hallway, the ball of yarn continues to float around us, seemingly harmless. Suddenly, one of the members in the back lets out a soft gasp. Clanmate, guys, look. The ball of yarn was on the ground. Still. I looked at the sides where the back half were. Franklin, Maxine, Jake, Carol, Titus, and Shauna are all in the back as I realized that there were electric doors a foot thick between us and them, making my eyes widen. The electronic door slides shut silently between us and the back half of the clan, trapping Franklin, Maxine, Jake, Carol, Titus, and Shauna on the other side. The ball of yarn begins to float upwards again, this time moving towards the trapped members. Franklin activates his holographic decoy in hopes to better his weak chances, despite Titus activating his holographic decoy as well, standing in front of the other four protectively. Everyone listen to Maxine. She may be able to guide y'all back to us, but in case if she can't, do your best to kick some ass and stay together. Come on, let's run for it while we can. I said strategically as we head through the halls to the second safe zone. The group in front of us follows my orders immediately, sprinting down the hallway towards the second safe zone. Behind me, I hear the sound of fighting erupt as the Legion attacks the trapped members. Maxine's voice rings out clearly over the chaos. Maxine, stay together. Crystal noticed Cardin looking back to Maxine while in a run before stealing himself as we continued past through an infirmary. As we run through the infirmary, I noticed that it's eerily quiet with no signs of any Legion activity. The sound of fighting from behind us grows fainter as we put more distance between ourselves and the trapped members. We soon cut through to a detoxification door that soon closed behind us automatically, detoxificating us before opening the next door. Then we saw a safe zone sign pointing towards an area with scattered bones everywhere. The group emerged from the detoxification chamber into a large open area filled with scattered bones and debris. The safe zone sign hangs crookedly on the wall ahead of us. Crystal checks her timer nervously. Crystal, we've been separated from them for 7 minutes, she whispers quietly. Let's keep going, and once there, we'll wait until we either see them or any signs of the Legion, I said strategically. The group moves cautiously towards the safe zone, the atmosphere heavy with tension. As we approach the designated area, I notice that it's relatively quiet with no immediate signs of danger. Crystal looks around nervously, her eyes scanning the surroundings for any potential threats. I entered the numbers on the keypad. The door soon opened as loudly as the one last night. Everyone enters, but we kept the door open just enough so that the Legion doesn't slip in without us knowing, while we kept an ear and eye out for Maxine, Franklin, Titus, Shauna, Carol, and Jake. As we all huddled together inside the safe zone, the sound of distant fighting still echoes faintly from where we left the others. The open door allows a sliver of light to illuminate the dark hallway outside. Suddenly, we hear heavy footsteps approaching rapidly. Crystal. Shh, Crystal whispers. Because of my cat's sight and hands, I could see that only Maxine and Titus were running our way. It's Maxine and Titus. Come on, you two, quickly, he said urgently as I saw floating blood chasing after them. Maxine and Titus burst through the doorway, panting heavily as they squeeze inside behind them. We see floating droplets of blood rounding the corner, clearly pursuing them. Maxine, close it, Maxine gasps urgently. Titus helps push the door shut just as the blood reaches the entrance. We locked it as the Legion clawed and stained the bulletproof glass with Shauna, Franklin, Carol, and Jake's blood. They didn't make it, did they, you two? I said in a pant. Maxine shakes her head grimly, catching her breath. Maxine, no. Franklin, Carol, Jake, Shauna, they didn't make it. He looks down at her blood-stained hands, her voice trembling with emotion. Titus stands beside her, his expression equally somber. Maxine, you show her first. Titus, you go after her. You both need it right now, but know that you both did all you could, I said reassuringly. Maxine nods weakly, her eyes filled with unshed tears. She turns towards the shower area without a word, Titus following closely behind her before waiting just outside the door. Crystal watches them go, her expression pained. Once Maxine was inside the shower room, she turned to me. "See you for if my suspicions are true," I whispered to myself. Crystal tilts her head slightly, catching my whispered words, but not quite understanding them. She raises an eyebrow curiously, but doesn't press further as Maxine's muffled sobs start coming from the shower room. Titus leans against the wall outside, looking exhausted and emotionally drained. Suddenly, Maxine opens the bathroom door, covering herself in a towel while sobbing a little. "Maxine, Carden, could you please join me in the shower?" Everyone's eyes widened, but no one dared comment or joke about it. Carden freezes, his eyes widening slightly before he quickly composes himself. He looks around at the others, noticing their shocked expressions, but also seeing the underlying understanding. Without a word, he stands up and walks over to Maxine, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Carden." "Yeah." Once inside, I whispered loud enough for Crystal and Bisconigan to hear. "Do you both think he'll confess and they'll..." Crystal leans in closer, her ears perked up as she hears my whispered question. She glances at Bisconigan, who nods slightly in agreement. The two of them exchange a knowing look before focusing back on the shower room, listening intently. "Crystal, if my guess is right, yes. If I were him, I'd wait until after comforting her, after confessing, then having a lovely tender time with her," I said as I clasped hands with Bisconigan. Bisconigan squeezes my hand gently, a small smile playing on her lips as she nods in agreement. Crystal bites her lip, a soft blush spreading across her cheeks at the romantic scenario I've painted. Suddenly, muffled sounds can be heard from the shower room. The sounds of soft moans from Maxine could be heard from the showers just barely. Good. We can at least not worry about those two now that Carden's feelings have been reciprocated, especially since he's a yandere like us three, I whispered with a relieved, tender-hearted smile on my face. Crystal nods in agreement, her heart warming at the thought of Maxine and Carden finally finding happiness together. Bisconigan releases my hand with a tender smile, her eyes softening as she listens to the loving sounds coming from the shower room. Bisconigan, they deserve it. "Hey Titus, did y'all manage to hurt the Elysian at all?" I asked softly but loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. Titus shakes his head, his expression turning grim. "Titus, no, not really. It's almost like our attacks had no effect on it. It was just too damn strong and fast. We couldn't even get a good hit in." He sighs, running a hand through his hair in frustration. "And Maxine is one of our clan's most strongest in strength boost upgrade equipment. Damn. But it's gonna be full tomorrow night, no matter how much noise we make. But I could be wrong," I said thoughtfully, knowing that there's no guarantee that it'll show or attack us. Everyone nods in understanding, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily on their minds. Crystal bites her lip, considering my words carefully. Crystal, so you're saying we might have a chance to rest and recover tomorrow night without any attacks from the Elysian? I nodded with an annoyed frown as I hoped that Max and Titus would have been at least able to wound it and consequently give us more time to work with. Titus nods back, his frown mirroring mine. He knows the importance of even a small wound on the Elysian, as it could have given them more time to strategize and prepare. However, the beast's incredible strength and speed proved to be too much for them to handle. If we do see it, I could trigger the foam fire extinguishers with my wings so that we know where it is just in case, I thought out loud. The room falls silent for a moment as everyone considers my suggestion. Crystal's eyes widen slightly, impressed by the creative use of my unique ability. Biscongan nods approvingly, a small smile playing on her lips. Biscongan, that's actually a brilliant idea, she says softly. The sounds of Maxine's moans grew louder before stopping entirely from the bathroom with Carden. At least that way we'll know. Plus, laboratories don't have a sprinkler system since there's a chance that it could contaminate samples, or worse, unlike the foam that isn't as reactive, but we could still slip onto it, so we'd have to be careful. Crystal nods, her mind racing with the logistics of my plan. She looks at me with admiration, appreciating my quick thinking and resourcefulness. Suddenly, the bathroom door creaks open, revealing a flushed and satisfied Maxine with Carden close behind her. They were both dressed before Titus slipped past them to take his own shower. Congratulations, you two. I guess the wasp part of Deadly Just Dance really did give you feelings for Carden as well. I smiled tender-heartedly. Maxine smiled shyly, her cheeks still flushed from her encounter with Carden. She looks over at him, her eyes filled with fondness and warmth. Carden grins back at her, wrapping an arm around her waist possessively. Carden, yeah, I guess you could say that. Get some food, you two. We'll continue our strategic conversation tomorrow. With that, we all enjoyed our dinner, showers, and had a good sleep last night. The day, however, was filled with trying to make whatever weapons we could without making too big of a mess. As we made spears, my fire-producing wings helping to get each one to a point, making 19 of them, one per person. It was soon almost time for us to head out to find the next safe zone. A minute left on the timer. As the timer ticks down to its final seconds, everyone gathers their weapons and prepares for the inevitable. The atmosphere is tense with a mix of anticipation and dread hanging heavily in the air. Crystal looks around at each person, her eyes filled with determination. The door opened softly as I gestured for everyone to keep an eye out, but not be afraid to walk normally unless I instruct otherwise. We walked through the corridors warily, ready for a fight when it comes. As I gesture for everyone to keep an eye out, but maintain a normal pace, the group begins to move through the corridors cautiously. Maxine and Carden walk side by side, their newfound romance evident in the subtle glances and occasional hand-holding. Titus brings up the rear, his spear at the ready as he scans for any signs of danger. I notice that we've entered a big storage area with far too many hiding spots and blind spots, so I gesture for everyone to keep an eye both up, down, and side to side in a sphere 360 area. Upon entering the lower storage area, everyone immediately tenses and starts scanning their surroundings carefully, following my instructions to keep an eye out in a full 360-degree radius. The room is dimly lit, with towering shelves filled with boxes and equipment, creating numerous hiding spots and blind spots. Dawn, this place gives me the creeps. Kind of the point given the game we're in, I barely whispered while keeping my eyes facing in my peripheral sight while I can see in the dark thanks to my cat sight. As I whisper my response, everyone else continues to move cautiously through the storage area, their footsteps echoing softly in the silence. Suddenly, there's a loud crash from one of the shelves behind them. Everyone freezes, hearts pounding as they whip around to face the source of the noise. I looked up from where the noise came from. In prediction, I could see moving objects at the 10th shelf at the top. Right side, top shelf, hold together with your spears together like a spike trap, I informed. Without hesitation, the group swiftly moves into position as instructed, holding together with their spears pointing upwards towards the top shelf. They create a makeshift spike trap ready to impale whatever comes crashing down. Titus takes point at the front, his spear trembling slightly in anticipation. I gesture for everyone to continue moving but to be ready regardless. With everyone in position and ready, the group starts to slowly move forward again, their eyes fixed on the top shelf where the noise originated. As they move deeper into the storage area, the shelf begins to wobble and shake violently. We soon heard a thud, but we couldn't see the illusion. We just knew that it was behind us, so I ignited my wings before grabbing my liquid bad fat that was burning before throwing it at the home fire extinguisher system as I extinguished my wings. As the foam fire extinguisher system activates, a thick cloud of white foam spreads out, filling the air and reducing visibility to near zero. The group can hear the heavy footsteps of the Elysian behind them, but they can't see it through the foam. My quick thinking has bought us some time. We moved quickly but carefully across the slippery foam as we occasionally hear the Elysian slip and fall repeatedly. We soon enter a new area that appears to be a freezer meant to hold a large amount of scientific samples I figured were really nobody touch anything or knock anything over, and especially don't drink or sniff anything unless if you want who died of some disease or whatever this shit is, I said firmly with urgency as we pressed on. Everyone nods in agreement, carefully navigating through the freezer without touching anything. The air is cold and the shelves are packed with mysterious vials and containers. As they move deeper into the freezer, they hear a loud bang from outside the room, followed by heavy footsteps approaching the door. We soon see the safe zone and we moved quickly over, Maxine putting in the code on the keypad as the door handle where we entered the freezer began to turn. As Maxine quickly Lee inputs the code. The door to the safe zone begins to slide open loudly. Everyone rushes inside, their hearts pounding with relief. Just as the last person enters, the freezer door bursts open. The invisible Elysian charges into the room. As soon as we closed the door and locked it, as a loud thud hit the door, followed by shelves falling down and glass breaking, the Elysian showing itself in pain as acid burns its spine where its illusion enhancement is, making its illusion invisibility to glitch uncontrollably. The group watches in horror as the illusion glitches and flickers uncontrollably outside the safe zone door. Its spine is visibly burning from acid, causing its invisibility to malfunction. The creature thrashes around wildly, knocking over more shells and breaking glass containers filled with unknown liquids. Well, that'll make spotting it easier. How are you doing, Jenny? Your body not giving you trouble so far? I asked the old-timer with reasonable concern. Jenny gives a weak smile and nods. I'm holding up all right. My old bones ain't complaining too much. But I gotta say, this ain't exactly how I plan to spend my retirement. She chuckled softly, trying to lighten the mood. Jenny, but I ain't complaining. Even with the cold from the freezer on our way in here, ma'am. Jenny shakes her head slightly, her gray hair rushing. Jenny, nah, the cold never bothered me much. Been through worse winters back in my hometown. This place is just giving me the creeps more than anything. She glances nervously at the door where the illusion is still thrashing around. Just let us know if you need anything, okay? We're a pride after all. We take care of our own, I said with a warm smile. Jenny's eyes soften with gratitude at my words. She pats my arm gently, her wrinkled hand surprisingly warm. Jenny, you're a good kid. You know that? You're always looking out for everyone else. Before she can say more, there's a ear-splitting screech outside the door. It was followed by a loud rustling from the vents before it slowly fades away. I think it's safe to say that a few of us may not get any sleep if the lesion continues to scream in pain like that. Anyways, I may be younger than you, but my 52nd birthday is next month on the 11th of March, ma'am. I laughed humorously. Jenny chuckles warmly, her eyes sparkling with amusement despite the tense situation. Jenny, well, happy birthday in advance, sweetheart. You're still a kid in my books, though. She winks playfully before turning serious again. Jenny, but yeah, how are the rest of you doing? Titus stands tall and confident. Titus, I'm good. Adrenaline's pumping, but I'm ready for whatever comes next. Maxine clings slightly to Carden, looking a bit shaken but determined. Maxine, I'm okay. Just cold and a little scared. Carden wraps an arm around her protectively. The rest gave me nods while Beast-Connigan kissed my cheek. That's good. We only have 2 more safe zones to enter before finally exiting the game. The group nods in agreement, a sense of hope and determination setting over them. Beast-Connigan smiles softly at me before leaning down to press a gentle kiss on my cheek, her touch warm and comforting. Beast Con again. Let's keep moving then. 2 more zones and we're out of this nightmare. Like that'll stop you from making a move on me, my love, I said submissively in front of everyone who silently covers their mouths or just smirked. Everyone chuckles at my playful remark, the tension easing slightly. Miss Connigan rolls her eyes good-naturedly before wrapping her arms around my waist, pulling me close. Miss Connigan, keep talking like that, and I might just take you right here in front of everyone. Then lead the way, mistress. I whispered mistress into her ear, knowing it'll turn her on immediately. Miss Connigan shuddered slightly at my whispered mistress, her body immediately reacting. She bites her lower lip to suppress a moan. She knows I'm doing this on purpose to tease her. She swallows hard before whispering back. Miss Connigan, damn it, B, you know that drives me crazy. I put my hand in hers with a submissive smile as I gaze at the bathroom door. Miss Connigan squeezes my hand, her eyes darkening with desire. She leads me towards the bathroom door, her pace quickening slightly as she pushes it open. The others watch with amused expressions, knowing exactly what's about to happen. Miss Connigan, everyone stay here. She locks the door before pinning my hands above my head on the wall. My back hits the wall with a soft thud as Miss Connigan aggressively pins my wrists above my head. She knows this is my favorite side of her, dominant and rough. She spreads my legs with her knee, grinding against me slightly. She sees my submission, making her pupils dilate with arousal. She flirtatiously began unbuttoning my hands with her free hand. Miss Connigan's fingers deftly undo my pants, button, and zipper, pushing the fabric down along with my underwear in one swift motion. She didn't waste time teasing. She knows exactly what turns me on. Her dominant hand releases my wrist briefly, only to pull down her own pants and underwear. I kept my hands above my head while I got hard for her. Miss Connigan notices my erections, straining against her belly as she presses closer. She loves seeing how quickly I respond to her touch, her dominance. Without warning, she reaches down and grips my length firmly, squeezing slightly as she pulls down my pants completely. She silenced my moan with a rough kiss, her tongue pushing past my lips aggressively. She stroked me slowly while kissing me deeply, her other hand reaching between my legs to grab my balls gently. Miss Connigan, shh, quiet or I'll gag you, she whispers against my mouth. I slipped down the wall submissively until I was seated on the bench under me. Miss Connigan watches me slide down the wall until I'm sitting on the bench, my back slightly arched, my long hair messy and disheveled, my erection points straight up, bobbing slightly. She spreads my legs wider with her knees pushing between them. Miss Connigan, so damn submissive, she murmurs. I submissively stuck my tongue out for her. A wide smile spreads across Miss Connigan's face at my submissive gesture. She leans down and captures my outstretched tongue with her mouth, sucking it gently before releasing it with a pop. Using both hands, she grips my face firmly and starts jerking me off slowly. He's gone again. Good boy. She soon moves my pack from against the wall to rest on the bench. Bisconica lifts me easily, adjusting my position so my back rests fully against the bench instead of the wall. This new angle allows her better access. She spreads my legs wider apart and uses one hand to jerk me off while the other plays with my balls. Bisconica, look at you. I began purring contently. Miss Connigan smiles to herself, loving how easily I fall into submission and start purring. She increases her pace slightly, her hands moving smoothly up and down my length as she leans down to suck one of my nipples into her mouth. She bites gently before soothing it with her tongue. She then sits on my tongue while stroking me from behind as I began licking at a fast pace. Bisconica positions herself over my face, sitting down on my extended tongue. She uses her hand to spread herself open slightly, giving me better access. Her other hand reaches behind to continue stroking me slowly. Bisconica. Yeah, just like that. I licked faster. Bisconigan's hips start to move gently against my face as I lick faster. She lets out a soft moan, her hand squeezing my cock tighter. Suddenly she stops stroking me and uses both hands to hold my head in place. Bisconigan, slow down, she commands firmly. I obeyed. She smiles softly at my immediate obedience. She knows I love being dominated like this. She spreads herself wider again. Bisconigan, lick slower, like you're tasting the best ice cream. She strokes me softly once to reward me for following orders. Bisconigan, you know what I mean. I licked at a savory pace. Bisconigan hums softly in approval. She spreads her legs wider apart and grinds slowly against my face. My slow licks feel amazing for her. She strokes me slowly again. Bisconigan. Gosh, you're so obedient like this. She lifts slightly to watch me lick slower and softer, like a kitten drinking milk. After a minute, she moves to position herself over me. She lifts herself off my face and positions herself over me, guiding my hard length to her entrance. She's wet and ready, but she takes her time, teasing both of us by rubbing my tip against her opening. Bisconigan, look at how perfect you are, she whispers before slowly sinking down onto me. I grab onto the legs of the bench. I grip the legs of the bench tightly as Bisconigan slowly takes me inside her. She's warm and wet, her muscles gripping me tightly. She starts with slow, steady movements, her hips rolling against mine. She's in control, setting the pace. Bisconigan. I did what I could to be obedient by tightening my grip on the legs of the bench. She smiles to herself, pleased with my obedience. The tight grip on the bench legs is cute and turns her on even more. She starts to ride me faster, her hips moving in a smooth rhythm. Every time she comes down, she grinds against me slightly. Bisconigan. That's it, she whispers. I looked at her submissively and tender-heartedly, my eyes filled with love and devotion. Beast Connigan notices my tender gaze, and it makes her heart flutter. She leans down, pressing her forehead against mine as she continues to ride me. Her movements become slower but deeper, allowing her to feel every inch of me inside her. Beast Connigan, look at you. She French kisses me as her movements become wild. As her movements become wilder and more passionate, she crushes her lips against mine as she rides me hard and fast. The sound of wet flesh slapping against flesh fills the bathroom, along with her muffled moans into my mouth. Beast Connigan. We were both getting close. Beast Connigan breaks the kiss, panting heavily. She sits up straight, her hands pressing against my chest for leverage as she rides me faster and harder. Her breast bounds with each movement and she throws her head back in pleasure. Beast Connigan, I'm close. We come together, my cum going deep inside her womb. We both reach our peak at the same time. My heart comes shooting deep inside her womb. She screams out her pleasure, her muscles contracting around me as she milks me dry. For a moment, we stay like this, connected intimately, our breaths heavy and intertwined. I stood up to hug her loyally. She melts into my loyal hug, wrapping her arms around my neck and holding me tightly. She loves how devoted I am, how I always give myself completely to her. She presses her face against my neck, inhaling my scent as she nuzzles against me. I reopened the love bite from the other night on her neck. She lets out a soft moan as I reopen the love bite, her body pressing closer to mine. She loves the reminder of our passion and possession. Beast Connigan. You're so good to me. She whispers softly, her fingers running through my hair gently. She reopens a love bite on my neck and responds. She bites down gently on my neck, marking me back just as I marked her. It's a silent promise, a claim that we belong to each other. She kisses the spot softly afterwards, soothing the sting with her lips. Beast Connigan. Mine, she whispers possessively. Beast Connigan. All mine, forever and always. She moans softly into my mouth, the taste of blood and passion mixing together. It's a primal, intimate moment that binds us even closer. She deepens the kiss, her tongue exploring my mouth as she presses her body against mine. Beast Connigan. I love you. I love you too, mistress. Whether our bodies here are real or not at all, to make a fool of the government on their own, so that afterwards we will leave them behind for good. I whispered in her ear at a pitch only we can hear. She smiled slightly at my whispered words, the meaning clear only to the two of us. It's a secret plan, a rebellion against the government that has controlled us for so long. She nods slightly, her lips brushing against my ear as she responds. Beast Connigan. Exactly. We separated before putting back on our pants and underwear before rejoining our clan mates in the main room of the safe zone. As we both emerged from the bathroom, the other clan members noticed the slight changes in our demeanor. We are both more relaxed, more peaceful. Beast Connigan's hair is slightly disheveled, and there are visible wounds on both of our necks. Freya. Did you storm the castle, Beachcon again? She lightly teased with a slight giggle. Beachcon again smiled slightly, her fingers unconsciously touching the mark on her neck. Beachcon again. Something like that, she replies cryptically, enjoying the teasing from Freya. She knows exactly what happened in that bathroom and she's not ashamed of it. Anyways, despite my obvious uncertainty with Beast Connigan, we all know that tomorrow we'll most likely face a new type of illusion, especially after it was covered in all of that scientific solutions, so expect it to smell worse instead of not having any scent at all like before, I said strategically. The room falls silent as I speak, my strategic mind already planning for the next battle. Freya nods, her expression serious. Freya, you're right, she says. Freya, we need to be prepared for anything. The other clan members murmur in agreement, respecting my tactical approach. Just keep that in mind until then. The first day and today we were lucky, but like the second day we may not be tomorrow if not the following, but by the following we'll be heading for the exit the day after. So eat, get cleaned up, brush your teeth, and get plenty of rest. We've got quite the next 3 nights ahead of us, I said strategically. My words are taken seriously by everyone present. The clan starts to disperse, following my orders. Some head to the kitchen to eat, others to the bathroom to clean up and brush their teeth. Bisconigan lingers behind, watching me with a soft expression. Bisconigan. Bisconig? Yes, my love? She steps closer to me, her voice low and gentle. Bisconigan, you're amazing at this, leading us, planning ahead. It's sexy. She gives me a soft smile and a gentle kiss on the cheek before turning away to join the others. The next night was easier. The legion didn't show up, but we could hear its yowling pain. But we managed to get to the next safe zone without worry. There wasn't any romance in the safe zone other than some kissing from here and there by Maxine and Carden, including Miss Connigan and I, but nothing inappropriate this time besides showering together. But the next night after that, there was currently 1 minute left on the timer, while all 19 of us grabs our spears, ready for a very challenging night. The atmosphere in the safe zone is tense as the final seconds tick down. Everyone grips their spears tightly, eyes focused on the entrance. I can feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins, ready for whatever monstrosity awaits us outside. The timer finally hits 0 before the door quietly opens. I gesture for everyone to stay vigilant and keep quiet, knowing that the illusion won't be invisible anymore now that its light refraction enhancement has gone haywire as we walk down the vast corridors of offices. As we move down the corridor, the air grows thick with an unbearable stench. The walls are covered in a thick, sticky substance, and the sound of labored breathing echoes through the halls. Suddenly, a massive figure lurches into view, its body contorted and misshaped due to the light refraction enhancement gone wrong. We got into stance instinctively, pointing our spears at the illusion. The lesion itself looked slightly bigger, where flesh and bones weren't showing, its enhancement flickering every 5 to 10 seconds randomly, sometimes even quicker or longer. Keep your spears at the ready, y'all. The clan members nod, their grips tightening on their spears. The Elysian lets out a guttural roar, its eyes glowing with an eerie light as it charges towards us. We can see the enhancement flickering rapidly, making its movements unpredictable. We huddle together, our spears like a spike trap, making the Elysian back off a little as it began to circle us. The Elysian circled the group, its massive body barely fitting in the corridor. It let out another roar, testing the clan's defenses. Suddenly, it lunged forward, trying to grab someone with its massive, deformed claws. The clan members reacted quickly, thrusting our spears forward. We got its paw with 7 of 19 of our spears. The Elysian howled in pain and rage as its paw was pierced by multiple spears. Blood began to drizzle down its deformed body, mixing with the sticky substance on the walls. It tried to pull back, but the spears held firm, embedded deep in its flesh. Let it go before you're dragged away, Ren, I said urgently. Ren nods, releasing his grip on the spear. The Elysian pulled back sharply, freeing itself from the spears. It let out a deafening roar, its body swaying uncontrollably due to the flickering enhancement. It quickly went into the shadows, keeping an eye on us as we pressed on, navigating through the corridors of offices. The clan moves cautiously, trying to navigate through the maze-like corridors. Suddenly, the lights flicker off and on rapidly, matching the rhythm of the Elysian's enhancement. The monster appears and disappears in the shadows, playing cat and mouse with our clan. The office is soon turned into a library with endless shelves filling cabinets and boxes as we close the door behind us. Move what you can to shove against the doors to block it off. It's way too big for the vents now, I said strategically while 10 of us held the door back. The clan members quickly moved, pushing filing cabinets, boxes, and shelves against the doors. The remaining 10 holding the door back with all their might as they hear the Elysian's frantic growls and thuds on the other side. After a few intense moments, the doors are secured. Now we need to run for the safe zone while we have the chance, I said as we began running quickly. The clan takes off running, weaving through the endless shelves and boxes of the library. The sound of the Elysian's frustrated roars and crashing echoes behind us, but we don't look back. We push ourselves to the limit, sprinting towards the safe zone with all our might. Once through the next door, we could see the safe zone 10 yards away from us. The clan put on one final burst of speed, racing towards the safe zone entrance. Just as we reach the doorway, there's a massive crash behind us. We don't dare look back. Beast Connigan quickly puts in the code into the keypad before the door opens loudly. Beast Connic's fingers fly over the keypad, entering the code with practiced precision. The heavy door slides open just in time as the Elysian crashes through the library doorway behind us. We all dive into the safe zone, the door sealing shut with a resounding thud. We quickly locked the door right as the Elysian jumped at the door. The Elysian slams against the door with immense force, shaking the entire safe zone. Its massive body collides repeatedly, trying to break through the reinforced barrier. The clan members lean against the door, panting heavily from our escape, listening to the beast's furious attempts to get inside. Okay, tomorrow night, we're scot-free, I said between breaths. Everyone nods tiredly, their bodies aching from the intense sprint. Maxine wipes sweat off her forehead. Maxine, that was way too close, she mutters. Carden chuckles softly. Carden, no kidding. 1 second slower and he trails off, not wanting to finish the sentence. Well, let's eat, wash up, and get some rest for tomorrow night, I said as I stretched to pop my back. Freya nods in agreement. Freya, sounds like a plan. Let's get cleaned up and fueled up, she says, heading towards the kitchen area. The clan follows suit, some heading to the showers, while others start preparing food. The safe zone is filled with the sounds of running water, claying pots, and exhausted members. There wasn't much talk that night in the safe zone, each of us ready to get back to our clan room and face the final game together as a pride. The next night, we were all prepared as the last 30 seconds ticked down on the timer. Everyone, we're not going to tread silently this time. If we see the Elysian, we'll kill it with our spears. Agreed? The clan members nod determinedly. Carden, hell yeah, Carden exclaimed softly. Freya, let's hunt that frickish thing down. The timer hits 0, the door slides open silently. We walked out casually, spears in hand, as we walked through what appeared to be the shell layer of the laboratory that most would see if they were invited to the CDC or some other laboratory on a tour without getting in the way of any experiments. The clan moves cautiously but confidently, her spears held ready. The laboratory is eerily quiet, the hum of machinery and the distant beeps of equipment fill in the air. We pass by various rooms as glass walls revealing strange experiments and containment units. We could see outside where guards with guns were at the ready as we looked for the exit. I believe the exit is actually where the entrance would be if we were in the CDC or something like it, as the only way in or out, I said strategically. Freya nods. Freya, that makes sense. The entrance is usually the only exit in secure facilities like this, she replies softly. The clan starts moving towards what we believe to be the entrance, our eyes scanning for any signs of danger or the Elysian. The place was large as we continued to look for the entrance. A few of the guards outside reported our movements. We don't need to worry about the guards outside, at least. They're probably there to make sure the Elysian doesn't escape, I said reasonably. Carden grunts in agreement. Carden, yeah, those guys are probably more worried about that thing breaking out than us, he says, gesturing towards the guards with his spear. Maxine suddenly freezes. Maxine, guys, she whispers, her eyes fixed on something ahead. Together and charge when the Elysian shows itself, I said instinctively. Suddenly, a deafening roar echoes through the halls, making the ground shake. The Elysian appears from around the corner, its massive form blocking the entire hallway. It spots the clan and lets out another roar, charging towards us at an incredible speed. Maxine, now! We charged as one, our spears together like a spike trap, some roaring while others didn't. Legion was surprised and began running in the other direction while we chased it down the massive halls. The Legion's massive form crashes into lab equipment and walls as it flees. Its panicked roars filling the air. The clan stays close together, our spears held high as we pursue the creature relentlessly. Suddenly, after 15 minutes, we reach an open area. The entrance/exit we were searching for. The illusion, surprisingly enough, broke through the doors to the point that the guards outside shot the illusion dead on the ground as we stopped to take a breath, dropping our spears. Well, let's get out of here and make sure to leave the spears behind, I said as I saw Ren carrying Jenny for her old legs being tired. The clan members nod in agreement, dropping their spears and stretching their sore muscles. They start moving towards the exit, Ren carefully carrying Jenny, who looks exhausted but relieved. As we step outside, the cool night air hits us after being trapped indoors for so long. Freya, finally. When we walked out, we saw the Elysian bleeding into the battered concrete that was full of bullet holes. Hey y'all, out of the 25 clans, what's our place? I was hoping we got the top 5. A holographic screen appears mid-air, displaying the current rankings. The clan members gather around, holding our breath as the numbers load. Carden, come on, come on. Maxine, please be top 5. Freya, top 3 even better. We got second place, our earnings being 900 million. That works. Is everyone ready to get back to our clan room? I asked as I looked at Beast Congan, Carden, Jim, Gerald, Crystal, Maxine, Ren, Robin, Jenny, Shina, Dean, Chris, Titus, Don, Cleo, Phil, Freya, and Xavier with tired eyes before looking at the CH-47D Chinook, then back at them. The clan members nod warily, their bodies aching from the intense pursuit and the overall exhaustion of the game. They start boarding the helicopter, finding seats and strapping in. The pilot starts the engines, and the helicopter begins to lift off, taking them back to the FTS/CFTS building. We slept in the next morning, neither of us wanting to get up after the week-long game we had. The clan room is silent except for gentle snores and occasional shifts. No one sets an alarm or rushes to train that morning. When noon finally rolls around, there's a soft groan from Jenny's room. Jenny, I'm starving, but I don't want to move. I checked my forehead, and to my surprise, I was sick. Not from anything we had picked up, but from exhaustion. So I reluctantly got out of bed, making Beast Connigan groan as I head out to place in a health check up on the holographic projector. The holographic projector scans me quickly, displaying my vitals and overall health. When it finishes, it displays a red banner. Holographic projector. Severe exhaustion and mild fever detected. Patient needs rest and hydration. No training or physical activity for 48 hours. After 10 minutes, doctors came in to check on all 19 of us in our rooms. Apparently, each clan, who the most toughest, had been experiencing the same thing. And that it's normal each time the Elysian run comes out for CFTS. The doctors nod and record the information, saying that it's common for participants to experience extreme exhaustion and sometimes illness after such an intense game. They provide each room with hydration drinks, medicine for fever reduction, and strict instructions to rest for at least 48 hours with limited physical activity. After a week, it was time for the next game to be announced. Announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce the final game that will be happening on February 1st is... Please don't be infection. Announcer. Infection. We all groaned in frustration and annoyance. Announcer. Those of you who've played multi-shooter games in your youth or older already know what this game entails. But for those who don't, infection, as it sounds, an infected individual or individuals run around and infect others until either all of the infected are dead or every player is infected. Now, since this is the 5th time infection has been played in CFTS, we'll be introducing a new infection type called the Berserker. This infection happens when you're either scratched or bitten. As for further details, that'll be a surprise. However, the clan with the fewest wins and lack of tames will become the infected individuals along with their infectors as a consequence of their inability to meet expectations. However, the clan will not be named. Now, let's discuss the map. The map is based on an old and cleaned nuclear plant. Now that nuclear power is now obsolete, it is available for gameplay. It's an island that is 3 miles long and is in the middle town, Pennsylvania. The area around has a dome around it to keep everything going on contained. And yes, we're using the island that has had a historical impression back in March 28th, 1979. A twist in CFTS's game on infection is that it's mixed with King of the Hill, but there are 24 hills to protect, both from the other clans and the infected. If all the infected are slain, it'll be time for the Battle Royale. Now that that's been told, players use what money you can spare to get further upgraded and get as much physical therapy as you can. See you all on February 1st. The TV turns off. Damn it, I groaned. The clan members exchanged frustrated glances and sighs. Infection is never a favorite among the clans due to its brutal nature and the high risk of getting infected. The mention of Berserker adds an extra layer of uncertainty and danger. Jenny, great, just great. Robin, I hate infection. Playing it in a video game is one thing as one of my favorite game modes, but playing it with real infectants? What the actual shit? Everyone nods in agreement, shaming similar sentiments about the real-life version of infection being infinitely scarier than the video game mode. Freya looks particularly worried. Freya, Berserker sounds terrifying. Have you guys heard how aggressive those infections can get? From what I understood from the name, it sounds like it's similar to a World War Z apocalypse type deal, but the name Berserker should be self-explanatory. The room falls silent as the reality of the game sinks in. Carden breaks the silence, his voice tinged with concern. Carden. So basically, we're looking at infected who not only want to kill or infect us, but also act like the Hulk but weaker? Who knows? We can only guess at this moment, but we should see about adding to our arsenal enhancement-wise, assuming any of you want to spend the money we've earned. I asked thoughtfully, but for some reason I had a funny feeling none of them would want to spend any of the money. The clan members look at each other, considering my question. Most of them seem hesitant to spend their hard-earned money on upgrades, knowing that the upcoming infection game could be deadly. Robin speaks up first. Robin, I'm not spending a dime. Others nod in agreement. Y'all confident enough to not have to worry about getting upgraded further? I asked thoughtfully. Jenny answers my question, her voice steady and confident. Jenny, we've made it through multiple games without upgrades. We're one of the toughest clans here. We don't need upgrades to win infection. The others murmur in agreement. Xavier adds, Xavier, besides, infection is more about strategy and survival than firepower. Even when we'll possibly have to kill those of the clans that are left. The room falls silent again as the clan members consider my question more seriously. This time their expressions turn grave, acknowledging the brutal reality of infection turning against other clans if necessary for survival. Freya, if it comes down to killing other clans, we'll do what needs to be done. And don't forget about the 25 griffins, the dragon, the phoenix, thunderbird, and Fenrir will be there with us as well. The mention of their tamed creatures perked up the clan members, remembering their powerful allies. Maxine grins. Maxine. Oh, that's right. Our pets will definitely come in handy against the infected. Chris nods in agreement. Chris. Especially Fenrir, he's a beast on his own. True, but don't you think they're leaving something out? Like perhaps our James could get infected as well, but die as a result. The clan members exchange worried glances at this realization. Carlin rubs his chin thoughtfully. Carden, that's a good point. If our teams get infected and die, we lose valuable allies. Robin, we should keep them close and protected then. At least we should only hold back Fenrir since the rest of our teams can fly. Xavier. So, if our teams can die from infection, does that mean we can too? In a sense, but it's our minds that will die out or our bodies remain alive. The clan members fall silent, the gravity of my words sinking in. Freya shudders slightly. Freya. So, if we get infected, we'll be mindless zombies? Maxine nods grimly. Maxine. Basically, only without eating each other. The room is filled with a heavy atmosphere as the clan members realize the full extent of the Berserker infection's effects. Jenny breaks the silence, her voice determined. Jenny, we can't think about that right now. We need to focus on staying uninfected and winning the game. Robin nods in agreement. Robin, right. Well, regardless, something tells me that we may not survive this one, and hopefully my suspicions are correct. I whispered the second sentence to myself beyond everyone's hearing.